Is that an iPhone 5?
Galaxy S2.
Oh.
I do like it.
I heard you guys were playing with it.
Yeah, no, it is a pretty nice phone. It's like half tablet, half phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw the guy holding up the 5.5 yesterday, Phil. You got to be kidding me.
A 5.5.
Well, 5.3, whatever it was, the
Galaxy Note?
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. That's going to be huge.
What have you got in your pocket? Is that a Galaxy Note, or do you have a career in porn?
That's a Galaxy S2.
Ooh.
I have the HTC Rhyme. I have the one for girls.
Why is that for girls?
Why is it for girls? Yeah, let's go.
Know.
Kevin had a
Keep saying it
purple
is.
BlackBerry Flip at CES, and he rocked it with machismo.
I like how Phil pulled from that one really, really quick.
Maybe Shannon heard him.
She was bad-mouthing it last night.
¿Quién es
tried
más macho?
the glow-in-the-dark charm for it yet.
I,
If
look,
it gets loud over here, let me know. I'll close the windows.
this
It's nice
might as
out, but I
this
live
might
next
as
to an
well be in
airport.
iPhone 4S. Might as well be. Does that hurt you, Georgia?
Yeah.
Big Apple logo up on the screen. More stones. Jumpin' Jack Flash. I wonder if the internet's going to stay up this time.
That's unlikely.
So who's coming out? Is it Tim Cook or Steve Jobs? Who's walking out? Last chance.
Gotta be Tim. It's gotta be.
I think it's gonna. I would love for it to end on Steve Jobs. So
Phil, you let me know if you have to jump off at any point, and we'll get one of the other Mobile Nations lagabouts to jump on.
That's all right. I've been talking for 5 minutes with my mic muted.
Nice.
you sounded pretty good either way.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll take 5 minutes to badmouth things and then give somebody else a turn.
Well, you haven't even seen anything yet. You're going to preemptively badmouth?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Look, I'm excited about this too, but it's a little ridiculous. And I think everybody can agree it's gotten a little ridiculous.
It's a lot ridiculous.
Look, every industry needs its events, right? You've got to have the big concert event for every industry. And it just happens to be Apple keynotes for some ridiculous reason.
Well, I mean,
Are you
but
saying that
I've been
Apple
to
fans
Google
need a
ones.
life?
They're not like this. I mean, this is just to the point. Oh my God, I have 666 unread things in my Google Reader.
I just mark all as read every morning and pretend that it never happened.
I've reached the reader apocalypse, 666.
Mine right now says 5,000, and I'm not even going to look at it.
That's not bad.
And I believe because it tops off at 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. Come on, guys, let's do it. It's 101. They're already this new era is off to a slow start.
Apple's such a fail.
That's it. We're doomed. Georgia got here before
Trains
Steve
don't
Jobs.
run on time.
Tim is out. Yep. Nice. It is a new era, Georgia.
Well, so far so good.
Tim Cook.
Everybody up. Lots of applause for Tim Cook. There is no truth to the rumor that he's wearing a black turtleneck. Stop it. So my guess is we'll get numbers first, performance indicators, how many iPhones, iPads they've sold. It's going to be a huge number. It's our pleasure to host you today. I love Apple. This is his first
It wasn't a
product launch.
standing O. He's not wearing a turtleneck, button down, shirt.
His first product launch since being named CEO, but I believe Tim Cook did the Verizon iPhone launch, so it's not his first. It's not his first turn on stage by any means. The chat room is saying he has to build street cred. Nice. Phil, is the Galaxy S2 the high mark? Is that what Apple has to hit in order to be deemed a success with this product?
No, Apple just has to walk in the room. Yeah, I mean, you and I were talking about it last night when we were doing a specs comparison, right? I mean, like, what do you compare? What from the Android stable do you compare against the iPhone? I think the Galaxy S2 is the best of what we have right now. But at the same time, there are little tweaks to all of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Apple has to walk in the room. That's all they have to do. Walk in the room, throw something on the table, said, buy this, and then there will be a line in 3 seconds.
So Tim is busy talking about how much he loves Apple. It's a privilege of a lifetime to have worked here for almost 14 years. He's very excited for his new role. He's welcoming everyone on campus. It's a second home for them. Just 10 years ago, they launched the original iPod there. 10 years since the iPod already.
Yep.
That's insane, Seth. I mean, Apple will one day have been a consumer electronics company for longer than they were a computer company.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of hard to think about that. Like 10 years. 10 years since the original iPod. Like, I still remember that event, and it just seems like forever.
Does anyone still have an original iPod up on the shelf? I can see guitars, Seth, but I can't see an original iPod.
No, I don't think we have any here. We have guitars in almost every room, though.
Nice.
Remember, it was FireWire only, and so Windows was shut out.
And Mac only, yeah. FireWire's only, Mac only. A hard drive now that is smaller than I think a millimeter on the flash ROM chip, including. It's an extraordinary time to be at Apple. No more is that evident than in our retail store. So we're going to get the store report soon. They always do the snoozer stuff up front, the stuff that makes the analysts and the market watchers happy.
I find it hard to believe that there's not a pirate Ustream of this somewhere.
They'll kick you out, man. Remember, like I said, Leo Laporte.
Let's see.
Sorry, Georgia?
Sorry, I said let's see.
Oh, they're having some trouble with the slides. Tim is showing the beautiful glass staircase. Apple is going to soon be the world's foremost glass maker, I'm convinced. Round buildings, round staircases, round glass phones. The people in Venice should be very concerned. You have several phones with rounded glass screens, don't you, Phil? Or concave or convex screens?
And I happen to have 6 phones in front of me. Just the what is this one? The Nexus S, and it's ever so curved.
Does it make any difference, the curves in the glass?
I don't think so, though. Now that I picked this up again, and I haven't used this in a while, it feels a lot better than I remember. But I mean, it's a very, very subtle thing. I don't think if nobody told you, I don't think you'd notice.
Yeah. It's like on the scale of an IMAX theater, the curve makes a difference, but even on a massive Galaxy S phone, I don't think.
Right. I mean, I think it makes a difference in your hand more than it does up against your head. But then again, who makes phone calls?
Yeah, we've said that several times. When I'm busy using my phone and someone calls, I'm angry and upset because it yanks me out of my app.
All right, seriously, people are hunting Apple's servers to find logos and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, intriguing, but ridiculous. By the way, Seth, hi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hey, man. I've yet to be on a show with you, so this is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there is.
You're finding pirated streams? Now, make sure what it is
What?
before you click it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you might get rickrolled.
Yeah, you might get iPron.
Well, you'll see if my eyes bug out at any certain time.
No, that's
Hurt my fragile little ears.
That's just one of Kevin's videos. Be nice to him.
Oh.
Talking about the ginormous Hong Kong store that you can actually drive under.
I was just going to put the Rex Manning video back up.
Nice. You know, I understand that Apple has to do this, but I didn't wait 15 months to hear about their Hong Kong Apple store.
Yeah, well,
no one
You would
cares.
have if you were in Hong Kong.
Not even. This should
You
be
know
like,
what? Not even. They want the phone. They want the phone so they can start pirating it as fast as possible.
No, like if you have like a UFC or a boxing card, they have the undercard that you don't have to watch and isn't really broadcast on the premier networks. It should be like that. The undercard of the Apple event where they talk about numbers, and then like the main event starts at a certain hour, and you get there and you see the iPhone run in and body slam the competition.
I'm telling you,
they
they
could do
just
it.
walk in, put a phone on a table, and leave.
They could do it like the technical Oscars, where they have all the nerds in another hall somewhere down the street, and everybody gets their best use of computer logistical computation in the movie that won Best Picture.
Yeah, that's called DevCon.
Ouch! Oh, BBX hate coming quickly. I just want to see. I want to know if Tim Cook has the stones to slam the iPhone at the end, the way that Chris Rock ends a concert.
Is he going to flip a table?
That's the new iPhone. Boom! boom, slams it on the floor.
You know, it would be cool if he did that and it didn't shatter.
Oh, zing.
The floor gets out of the way.
Apple usually gets the live streams out later on the same day, and then the iTunes one for download usually comes out, right after that. Or, why are people sending me meeting invitations during it? It still stuns me, Phil. People sent us press releases for very minor launches on Apple Event Day.
Yeah, I got one today for I won't say which manufacturer, but another manufacturer, and not one you'd consider to be one of the top ones in the U.S. Tried to schedule something during the Samsung Google announcement at CTIA next week.
Here we go. iOS Lion.
Yeah.
OS.
MacBooks. Yeah. It wasn't Let's Talk MacBook event. It was. I'm pretty sure it said Let's Talk iPhone. Oh my God! OS 10 on iPhones. Post.
Flip your finger up, it'll go down.
Oh, we've been waiting so long. I want to get on with this.
Not as much as I do.
It's the Gold Master for iOS 5 should come out today. I don't think it's considered a rumor. Apple almost always puts out the Gold Master at the phone introduction event. Usually that's just WWDC. But since that was postponed, it makes every bit of sense in the world that it would come out today unless there's anything, technologically wrong with it. But I've had good luck with the latest beta. Seth, you?
Yeah, the latest one has been pretty solid. I have one or two little things that I said the other day are annoying, but they're by no means deal breakers.
Oh, will the Gold Master be an over-the-air update? I don't know. I kind of think the Gold Master is going to be an install just because they're going to want everyone on that fresh new code base.
Yeah, it depends on how much they've changed since this last beta.
Are all Android updates over the air, Phil, or are there some that are big enough that you have to...
It kind of depends, actually, on the phone, the carrier, the manufacturer, and where you are. So the Nexus phones, yeah, they're all over the air. Motorola phones, all over the air. Samsung has a thing called Keys, Kies, in Keys Air, Keys Lite. That occasionally you need to go through depending on your carrier, so if they don't want to push it out over the air. And Keys has gotten better. It's actually, Keys Air is like SSH now.
Wow. So
sometimes you have to plug in to do that, and that's just asinine to me, because especially if you're on a Windows machine with Android, you have driver issues. It's just a huge pain. But no, for the most part, it's over the air, and it's generally pretty smooth, though they're still having more problems with like technical glitches with the updates themselves. Like they'll find a bug as soon as something starts pushing out, and just pains like that. But when it works really well.
We're about to enter that world.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's about time. I mean, that's something I've always kind of dinged Apple for was, and you've explained it to me before, but doing the 250 megabyte updates that you have to download. And
750.
Yeah, and the servers are just slow. And it's like, I just want to update my wife's phone. That's all I want. I don't want to take 3 hours to do it.
Tim Cook is saying, and this is raising eyebrows, that the Mac is the number one desktop. I don't know how they're calculating that. Number one desktop and laptop.
Well, now that HP's out of the
Notebook.
business.
Yeah.
Notebook and desktop. But
I need Leanna
we
to
still
do
don't
that
care.
math.
We're just waiting.
I think they're
Yeah,
probably looking at that as MacBook Pro and iMac as one product compared to not like all the things that Dell puts out, but one of their items.
Yeah, so it's like iPhone is the best-selling phone. It doesn't outsell every Android phone, but it outsells any individual Android phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Hey, look, I worked in marketing for many years. It's how you tell the story.
Oh yeah, you can make actual legitimate numbers say whatever you want.
Okay, iTunes and iPod. They actually said the word iPod. It is not dead yet. Will they include a nano watch? Is the iPod Classic about to be defenestrated? We'll see. 10 years ago today, revolutionized the whole music industry, reminded us why we love music, made it so simple to enjoy again.
And that's why we're going to kill it.
But Apple has a history of this. Apple is completely fearless about annihilating still living products to kind of make room for they want to obsolete themselves, right? They want to cannibalize themselves.
Yeah,
I think they'd rather cannibalize others, but
if anyone's going to cannibalize Apple, it better be Apple.
over 300 million iPods have been sold, and it only took Sony 30 years to sell 220,000 Walkman cassette players.
Well, times are slightly different now.
Well, they're taking everyone out now. Back
then they had to walk from Japan.
We sold more iPods than there were ever 8 tracks ever in the history of the world. Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Jefferson and all those inventors didn't have anything on us, like electricity.
Market share for iPod, a neat
microprocessors.
78%. I like the fact that he used the word neat.
We totally put cassette tapes out of business.
Seth has been entourage. That's awesome.
Apparently, everyone else decided to come in.
Nice. Hi, everybody.
Everybody say hello.
All right, let's go.
This is Nickelfish, damn it.
Yeah, here they are.
Awesome.
Every last
Hello,
one.
Nickelfish.
All right, Phil, your turn. Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where's that dog again?
Dog.
Everyone do your hearts for Seth.
Now, as he's talking iPod sales, it's interesting to note that Microsoft, the Zune was rumored to be dead yesterday. Microsoft said, nay, we tell you Fi. And then today go, yeah, kind of. It's interesting that Apple hasn't killed the iPod.
No, and this is something I've been thinking about with the death and resurrection and death again of the Zune HD for Microsoft, because that's what I use, right? Like, if the Zune HD dies and, I can't get another one, and, I could get another one for a while, but if it dies and does not exist, what would I use? I don't want to use an iPod. I do not want to get into the iTunes ecosystem.
Windows Phone.
At all. Windows Phone, but again, I don't need I have 5 million phones here. I don't need a phone. I want a PMP. Right? What do I use?
The Galaxy player.
I don't want a 5-inch thing just to play MP3s.
What do we got here? So, it was a whole bunch of stats just flew past me. Some 16 billion songs downloaded, over 300 million cumulative iPod sales. That is a huge business. It is so strange to think that is an ending business for Apple, and they're supplanting it because that is the monster of the halo effect they've had for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but it's also more disposable than a smartphone, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't have the attraction of having bought $300 worth of apps that you don't want to leave behind by switching platforms.
Right. iPhone, here we go. That's amazing, is that the iPhone 4 sold over half of our total iPhones sold in the entire time we've been selling iPhones. It's the number one smartphone in the world.
Every time they put out a new iPhone, it sells way more than the past iPhone. I think almost double every time. That's going to be interesting to see if they can keep that up. 93% of the Fortune 500 companies are testing or deploying the iPhone. Customers love iPhone. It's not number one by a small amount. It's, you ready, Phil? It's pummeling the competition.
Pummeling? Well, that's what I felt then.
You thought it was a burrito.
I had for breakfast.
Yeah.
Apparently I got pummeled today. Okay. Android's still activating more than 500,000 devices a day. That hasn't slowed down.
Yes, though, they say that for mobile phone satisfaction, Apple, 70% very satisfied.
The old caveat.
It's a cigarette test. It's at the end of using an iPhone, more people light up cigarettes than light up for other devices. It's fine. 49% for HTC, 38% for Motorola.
And you know what? I would absolutely agree with customer satisfaction.
28% for Samsung.
I mean, all right, let's look at that list. HTC, sure. I don't know.
I like HTC's phones as someone who uses Android. They're my favorites.
Here's my question: How many people who don't do this for a living have had an experience with HTC and Motorola and LG and Samsung to be able to really qualitatively, compare them?
Maybe Seth, maybe Phil.
And God forbid Nokia.
Most of the people who have Phil work for Android Central.
Right. They are that 27%.
No.
iPhone, 5%. Apple, when they first launched the iPhone, said that they would be happy to take just 1% of the phone market, and that market was much smaller back then than it is now.
Sure.
Well, there is an iPhone on the screen.
And now already stay on the iPhone. They're talking about the iPad now. Go back.
Oh, damn it! That was really a tease.
Tim Cook's from my part of the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a good Southern Alabama boy.
Nice.
And Engadget is toast.
Oh. These things take down data centers.
Glass houses.
Yeah. The nice thing about Ustream is that we're reliant on them. People are thrilled with the iPad. Again, 95% satisfaction ratings. I mean, well, that's if you make closed boxes, people tend to be happier with them because they can't get in to muck around and ruin them. If my toaster was sealed off, I wouldn't have electrocuted myself and gone to small claims court. It's just how that works.
95% satisfied that's pretty nice numbers, though.
I have those numbers.
Well, that's because everyone loves you, Phil.
Long time. iPad changes the way teachers teach, kids learn. Many educators agree with us. Every state in the U.S. now has a pilot iPad program or is deploying one. Which is, that's what Apple did, though. They didn't sell the features of the iPhone. They didn't sell the technology. They sold what you could do with it from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the opposite of what you're seeing in Android tablets. And I think Gruber's piece on the Kindle Fire was dead on in that respect.
Yeah, Amazon is going to, it's not an Apple approach, but it's a very consumer-oriented approach nonetheless. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be really curious to use one. Again, they didn't actually let anybody touch it at the thing, so, there are going to be technical hurdles and issues, and one we just wrote about is not going to have the Android market on it, so, you're going to have things with that, but we'll see. It's going to be really, really interesting. And maybe the other manufacturers will get their stuff together and do an Android tablet that's not just a big pile of specs.
I think they have to. I think they'll worry that Amazon will subsume or conflate the Android tablet market if they don't. Seeing lovely. Seth, what is this the biggest tease in the history of gadgets? I just want a damn iPhone.
Yeah, seriously. We know they do this every time, but this is interminable. I can't take it.
It's been 50. It's like the guy comes back from war and the wife wants to go out to dinner first.
It's hard.
This is not just in the classroom. Pilots are replacing 40-pound flight bags with iPads, making pilots more efficient.
92%.
iPad medicine, 80% the top hospitals. Blah, 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 blah.
We get it. It's a hit. Move on.
People like it. They really like it.
Have they sold many of these?
We're not getting sales numbers. That's interesting. That's true, Phil. They have not. Usually they say 20 million sold, whatever. We haven't gotten updates on that yet.
Did you guys ever read that column I sent you about using the iPad in the cockpit?
Yes. We've had several posts on that now. Yeah. Several airlines have been doing that.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yes. I know one that uses it for Sudoku while they're flying.
Great.
The Apple Store is down. Yes, everyone, the Apple Store. That does not mean that you'll be able to buy an iPhone today. It always goes down.
Yeah, I wonder if there's. I'm heading down.
The Apple Store? Are you going to buy something? No, not the actual physical Apple Store. They have up. The online Apple Store is down.
I know.
Be funny if they demolitioned the actual stores before the events.
250 million iOS devices. Yeah, okay. They could have said 100 million. It still would have been impressive, right?
It still shocks me, though, that when we go to the Apple site to get news about Apple, it's not really there.
No, they're updating it.
Yeah, because they didn't do that before today.
They're busy.
Right.
They're making the graphics right now.
Then again, it's better off for us.
250 million iOS devices, and Scott Forstall is taking stage. Thank you, Tim. Scott Forstall is the senior vice president of iOS.
Which just brings us closer to the iPhone.
And he's looking
Only
young
10
and
more
chipper.
Things.
Yep. We've already sold more than 250 million devices. That makes iOS, you ready? The #1 mobile OS. They're claiming victory.
Did anybody deny it?
I'm just waiting for someone to do the math.
Has anybody been out there saying, no, Apple, you're really not?
I think Paul Theroux. I'm not positive.
Well, okay, yeah. Other than
the usual suspects. Mobile browser usage. Oh, the browser stats. iOS 61%, Android 31%. Other. I have a browser. That's the other right there. There's a browser on this phone. A lot of people don't care about a browser.
What's the internet?
Yeah. I had Blazor on my Palm and it was $200 for 100 megabytes of data and I never used it. 500,000 apps in the App Store. More than 140,000 of these are made specifically for the iPad. I will say that Apple's had tremendous success in getting a tablet base done for their iPad, like tablet-specific apps.
Yeah, what's the split on that now? Because I was talking to Tim from Pre-Central about that earlier. Because Android, you still don't have that. In fact, they tweaked the honeycomb code to help crappy apps that don't bother updating their graphics or whatever better adjust to the larger screens.
Retinizer. Yeah, well, out of 500,000, you've got 140,000 that are specific for iPad native.
Okay, so
universal
1/6.
Yeah.
Which is saying something for the number of apps.
For downloading apps.
Yep.
18 billion apps. 18B apps.
Yeah, 18 billion. And it's accelerating.
Jeez.
1 billion a month. That means that the people in the chat room are downloading 10 apps each every time that we say something.
Is it counting, I don't know, is it counting something that you would normally consider an app?
No, but it's probably counting re-downloads. Like, because on the iPhone, it's very easy to delete an app, re-download it, delete it, re-download it.
Okay, so that's 18 billion downloads,
Yeah.
not 18 billion apps.
Yeah, no.
Wow, can you believe that? They're actually, Apple has paid developers more than $3 billion. New app for today, cards. Create and mail beautiful cards right from your iPhone or iPod
Is that an
Touch.
Apple app? Tell me that's not an
I don't
Apple
know,
app.
but if that's a developer's app, those guys are stoked.
If that's an Apple app, then that's real. Then that's just a giant storefront for their Apple print business.
It's a new app that lets you create cards on your phone. We'll do the rest. We'll print them out. We'll emboss them. You can choose 21 different designs.
That is an Apple app.
Yep.
A whole bunch of third-party developers just got pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
And this has got to be an App Store app, though. I mean, this is such a... this is not...
It is. It says $2.99 in a little screen cap that I'm looking at on This Is My Next.
You've got to buy an app so that you can buy cards?
We printed on high quality.
No, I'm sorry. Maybe the app is free.
That looks like you're buying the card for $3.
Yeah.
Okay.
We printed on high quality, 100% cotton paper. Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I hope they're recycled. Otherwise, Greenpeace is going to get on their case about that too.
It's 100% cotton, they're saying. Oh, look at this. The card you mailed to Blair Lockhart has arrived at the local post office and should be delivered today. Blair is at the pub. If you could drop it off at the pub, you'd appreciate it. Yeah, well,
we just got a Postcard on the Run on Android, which is an old iOS app, and I mean there are a lot of services like that I think are. Apple's the new Twitter. They're just going to totally screw developers. Watch. It's just the beginning of the end.
There's this term called Sherlocking, Phil, and it comes from Apple doing this for years and years and years and years.
So is Apple going to buy the U.S. Postal Service?
Well, $2.99 in the U.S., $4.99 anywhere else. October 12th. That's an interesting date.
That is
October 12th. That's pretty close to my state date. Just saying.
Cards will be available October 12th. Well,
iOS 5 time. Yay. We've already seeded more than 100K developers, and they love it. We can't wait to get in everyone else's hands. 200 new users features. Talking about 10 of the top.
Come on, Scott. Rattle through these, buddy.
Let's go, Scott. Scotty.
I'll sit through the announcement, and then I'll give somebody else a chance if they want.
Okay.
I just want to be able to make fun of it somehow.
What else you got for us, Scott? Come on.
Notifications, iMessage. Yeah, all right.
WWDC Redux.
Yeah.
And I assume, we've all heard about this for sure. Let's go.
Leanna's going to post up on cards for us. Thank you, Leanna.
Sweet.
Is it universal? That's a good question. I don't know if cards is universal. He didn't really say. And here we go. Notifications. We kind of robbed that from you, Phil. We liked the way that you did it so much. We just took it wholehearted and put it on the iPhone.
Sure, why not?
Push to all devices. Fabulous.
We could have taken them from Palm, but it was a little bit too elegant. That's not how we roll.
Who?
It was this little company that made exceptional stuff, but couldn't get the money and then couldn't get the love.
Mike Rundle, Flyosity on Twitter, just posted in reference to cards. Hallmark needs disruption. Lean startup.
Someone on Twitter is telling us that they saw a Facebook iPad app in the iPad pictures. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Was there a Facebook iPad app?
Twitter integration. Got it. Next.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that we've heard right going back to WWDC and the stuff that's been in the betas. Not that we don't want it. We've just we're fickle. We want the new.
Well, apparently Dick Costolo, Twitter CEO, is in the audience. That's very exciting. Next.
He is the one that we named the Dick Bar out of, in case you were wondering.
The very same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't use
I thought it was named because somebody was being a dick.
Oh, no. We could never get that on the air, Phil.
Oh.
I don't see a Facebook app anywhere.
There it is. There it is.
You found
Sean
it?
just put it in the chat.
Okay, cool.
It's right in the window there.
And Pester Nerdkick put it up on Twitter.
Oh, Jared did it first, though. They
Okay.
had a little fight.
We still don't have a proper Facebook app for Honeycomb.
Phil, I don't want to be mean, but there's so many Honeycomb apps that I want that don't exist.
Yeah. I've got a nice tower defense game if you want to play that.
That's all Georgia needs to hear.
Ooh, yes. That's it. You and I chat after this.
Sweet.
We're still planning on challenging me versus Phil and Georgia versus Jerry in a Tippy versus Android Central Words with Friends tournament, Phil.
Yes. Got to get my wife involved. She and I have screaming matches.
Nice.
Like it's
I can't use
nasty.
my emoji against him, though.
Next up, the camera. Yeah, this is all
Camera.
WWD stuff.
Ooh. Camera.
Newsstand, maps. Yeah, you can tweet a map. This is where I am. Come rob me. Oh, too late. Already happened.
You know, the way this is going, they might just put a phone on a table and walk out.
I'm telling you, that would be so odd. That would be just epic.
Here it is, you
What
guys
would
can
people
fight
write?
over it.
What would they say?
I want to know if the camera's still going to take like 7 minutes before it opens.
You can.
It's nice to see. All right, so double tap the home button, pulls up the camera real quick. It's nice to see somebody else paying attention to that.
Yeah.
That's what Microsoft did right.
We're also
Yeah.
getting the volume button. We'll be able to take photos instead of having to use a software button.
Yes. Patent it.
I do that pretty much exclusively now.
You can edit your photos right on your device. This is again, this might Sherlock some very basic photo editing apps, but it really is basic, just like cropping and the same picture enhance that you can find in iPhoto.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to do that.
Rotate.
It needs some really bad filters to annoy people.
No, we have Instagram.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You said that, Seth, right? That you're about done with photo filter apps?
Yeah, I think I've hit my limit on tolerances for that. Just in the past week or two, I must have seen like 2 or 3 new ones, and I don't get it anymore. Like, they're fun, and I loved Instagram for a while, but enough.
Sorry, Game Center.
Oh, another feature I never use.
67 million Game Center accounts.
That's not that many considering the number of...
Phones.
I mean, that's just like Tippy readers alone.
Yeah. Well spotted, Phil.
Edit photos on device. Crop, rotate, red eye remove.
It's funny, on Twitter, all the other bloggers are bitching about the exact same things that we're bitching about, so at least we're not alone.
Yeah, and we're not doing the work.
Yeah.
Score.
Now, yeah, Safari Reader. So basically, it's not really Read It Later or Instapaper. It's Reading List and Reader. So two separate entities that together do half of what something like Instapaper would do. Is that a fair assessment, Seth?
Yeah, it's like the photo editing stuff. It's bare bones what a majority of people might want if they decide they need that, and then if you want to do anything more, there's plenty of other ways to do it.
Yes, well put.
So, full tabbed browsing has come into the iPad, so you can go between them with one tap instead of two. We are getting lazier.
But not the iPhone. The iPhone is not getting any multi-tab love. Sorry, multi-tab love. I wonder if it's just Apple considers it too skinny.
I've been using the Dolphin browser on the iPad lately. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, the Dolphin browser, I like it, but it's got too much Chrome for me. Not Chrome,
yeah.
The browser. It's got too much interface.
Yeah.
And I don't really need tabs that much on the iPhone because I prefer swapping pages. I know it's Ludditerian. But I can do my cards. I love Scott Forstall deeply, truly, as any man would, but he can slow down an event. If he starts bringing up app demos for 45 minutes, I might have to beat my head against this table.
Seriously.
Why doesn't Instagram support HDR? Because they were too busy making all their filters look alike. Can only do one thing at a time. Development resources are limited.
Wireless updates. Let's do it.
Where do we all stand on the Sprint thing?
Likely, hopefully. This guy next to me is going to die if he doesn't get one, so.
I think I read Geller's thing on his sources or whatever, and you know what? It almost sounds desperate enough that Sprint would do it.
30 seconds for one, so.
I can believe they pay that amount, but I can't believe they're getting an exclusive iPhone 5.
I don't think they're getting an exclusive.
Hey, as long as there's an iPhone 5, I don't care who gets it.
What are you going to do with a Sprint iPhone 5 in Canada, Georgia?
Well, I'm not going to do anything with the Sprint iPhone 5 in Canada.
That's about what you do with it in most of the U.S., too, I fear.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's the third most popular network in the U.S.
Looks like this is my next ground to a halt.
Free updates. Available October 12th, finally.
October 12th.
And here is Eddie Q, iCloud.
Oh.
So
Now that they're
can we all
taking this-
quietly
that they're
agree
taking-
that if the thing is coming out on the 12th, then the phone has to be out before that?
No.
Like the 11th?
The phone comes
like
out after
maybe
the
the
OS. You can't put out the phone before the OS.
Oh, you're right. Mix them up.
Now that they're taking this much time to talk about everything else but the phone doesn't bode well for an iPhone 5.
I'm telling you, they're still making graphics for the store.
Those monkeys get union subsidized breaks. You can't pre-order iOS 5. You get that for free. No, I know you were just talking about the iPhone. You still haven't got an iPhone.
My wife hasn't synced her iPhone in like a year.
Really? Well, she won't have to soon. It's all going to be it's all going to be iCloud.
Yeah, 'cause she's
I'm
been
with
using
her,
the
Phil.
Chromebook.
That's exactly what Eddie Q is saying now. Keeping it in sync can be frustrating. He's taking into the whole iCloud, and you can't call it sync because Steve Jobs was very careful to say that this is push and store. It is not sync. There's not one master copy on the cloud the way a company like Google might do it. There is a physical copy sent to Apple server and then redistributed to all the devices.
Wait, do what now? Sorry.
Google tends to keep a master copy on the web and then gives you a local copy to use and then restores the master to the web. Apple is going to be whatever device you make it on has a copy. A copy gets made onto the cloud server and then a copy gets pushed back down to all the devices. So they're all co-equal.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
I don't know if it matters to the end user, but
No. and we'll see how it works.
And
Matt
here we
Springer
go.
in the chat
Photos.
is jumping to Android. Phil, you got another one.
Why? Just because we have iCloud now, you're jumping? That's it. Apple's doing too much internet-y.
Photos. Your photos are now on your camera roll, and if you wish, they were all on all your devices. Pictures go to cloud from your iPhone, and then shout out to all your other devices.
Done. We've got it. Although it's not built into the OS yet, I'll be curious to see if they do that. That's something that's actually been sorely missing.
Wow, that's a lot of views in that Ustream window. Uh-oh.
What?
I refreshed GGT and it says I got blocked by mod_slot limit.
It's back up.
That sounds
you can
rude.
refresh it now.
Is it?
Sounds rude.
It's back up.
It's not up for me. I'm
Is it
flying
still
blind.
They're only serving Canada right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you
like
guys
we get something
okay.
first.
This is my Nexus, still talking about tab browsing. So I'm thinking this internet stuff is hard.
Rackspace is actually on fire right now.
it burns. I'm still alive. It hurts quite badly.
Very badly burned.
I've been shot now.
So the pictures that they have of the iPhone right now on screen, do they look any different to you?
Well, they're still quote unquote
It looks
talking about
elongated. I think they cropped that baby a little weird.
I've been writing the same sentence over and over for 10 minutes now. I have a feeling I've written this sentence before,
Was
actually.
it stop it? Is that what it is? Now talking about docs in the cloud, you can edit pages on the iPhone. It updates across all your devices. Again, the same stuff we've seen from WWD. They could have just played the video from WWDC for the first 40 minutes of this thing.
Man, that phone's going to come out Friday when I'm on the plane. I'm going to be so mad.
Dude, you, me, David Barnard, Gruber, Jalkut, Hockenberry, we're all going to walk over to the Montreal Apple Store and have the best line in the history of iPhone lines.
And wait for a month.
I sincerely hope you're right.
We're not getting it at the same time. They'll give it to Sweden before they give it to us.
Yeah, Sweden's getting the iPhone exclusive. They paid the national balance.
We're buying 4 billion phones.
Can't believe it's been 40 minutes and we're still talking about stuff we already knew.
You can't believe it.
Well, there's not a big difference in the phone. What are they gonna? This is the new phone. It looks like the old phone. We have to talk to you about it for 40 minutes now. So, where are you guys from?
Oh, here comes the Foursquare killer.
What's that?
Today we're launching a new app called Family and Friends.
Oh, here it is. Find my friends. It's George's worst nightmare.
Yeah, this isn't happening. I am not signing this baby up for. That's all I need.
Well, you have kids. Wouldn't you want your kids to have their iPhones and you'd know where they are? Breaking their iPhone?
No, I kind of want the iPhones to be quiet so I can't hear the kid. Yeah, I mean,
Get lost
that's something I
and
haven't
don't
thought
come
about
back.
yet.
You can invite friends to share their location for a limited time, which is an interesting feature. You can invite your
that's a good
friends to
idea.
share for a
Good
few
time.
hours while they're driving to your pad. So when they call and they're lost, you can reroute them. I actually already use use the map system. But it's pretty cute looking, I have to say.
Well, if you're downtown and you're all trying to meet up to get a drink or you're trying to go to an event and you can just share that for like an hour and everyone can find you, that might be useful.
No, it looks actually really nice. It has your little dot, your little pinpoint, and it has the person's picture and it shows where they're going. It's kind of cute and it shows how far away people are.
I know exactly what Seth thought when he saw it.
What?
Seth thought stitched leather, really?
Yeah.
It's Google Latitude. I mean, that's been around for a long time.
But it's in a nicer, like the manner in which it looks is pretty clean. Like it's actually almost like a little bit cartoony, Sally Can Cook kind of thing.
It's sort of like they're trying to, because Apple wants to like the same way Google hits Apple with the open stick, Apple wants to hit Google with the privacy stick, and it looks like they're doing everything they can to make this look like a very friendly, very safe version of Latitude.
And that's been my thing about Latitude is it's so easy to leave on.
Yeah.
And when you work at home like I do, you try not to do that. Hey, everybody, look, Phil's in his bedroom.
Seriously,
I was going to say
stitched
something,
leather.
but I won't.
It looks like a little traffic sign. They couldn't do a nice little traffic sign treatment. It's got to be stitched leather.
It's a stitched leather traffic sign.
It's stitched leather. It's actually looks like stitched suede.
Suede. It's
Looks like a stitched Cheez-It.
Leather. That'll be for the
They have
Canadian
chaps
version.
that look like that. Never mind.
Oh,
Ooh.
bedroom and chaps. Phil.
Yes. On Google
Turn that
Latitude.
feature off.
Yeah. He's looking around. Where are my chaps? Where are my chaps at? All part of iCloud, free for iOS 5 and Lion users with upgrades from devices. A really great add-on to iCloud is iTunes Match. Here we go, iTunes Match. So this is the service where you pay $25, and unlike Google and Amazon's offering, Apple will try to match you with their 20 million iTunes song library, so you don't have to spend 20 minutes uploading your own stuff and lose that part.
No, you spend 20 minutes looking.
Yeah. Well, it does it all for you. I mean, we've tested it out, and it works fairly well. If you have, like Seth and I, obscure manga, anime soundtracks, they may not find them. But
Hey, and it doesn't fail. I just got an email, somebody wanting to share their location with me on Latitude.
Nice.
No way.
No thanks.
Are they in your room? Because if they're in your room, you better find out.
Yeah, you better
Oh
be
my
careful.
God, he's
You
outside
should
my
actually
house.
see where they are. Yeah, they're outside my window.
Look behind you. We have a new phone yet or not? I need a ham
The
sandwich.
funniest thing is that we'll see if Phil gets attacked, we'll actually watch him in a delayed way right
Yes.
now. Duck to the left, Phil.
Like 5 minutes later, you'll...
No word yet on whether iTunes Match is going to be available outside the U.S., so we're going to have to
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
It's Apple is good at negotiating international rights, but the music industry is better at denying them.
Yes.
There's rumors, right now it's US only, there's rumors that we might get the iTunes re-download in Germany, France, and the UK. But we haven't heard anything about Canada yet, and we haven't heard anything about international iTunes Match, except for an email from Tim Cook, which was passed along to Eddie Q, who said they were working on it.
Oh no, video demos.
Is this
This is
longer
bad.
than the Palm announcement? Like, back
Isn't
in,
it supposed to be like an
February?
hour?
iCloud is October 12th, along with iOS 5. iTunes Match, end of October, US only. And a little bit of me just died. Not that I can get Amazon or Google's offering internationally either. I mean, there's something about the record companies that they just do not want to take international money. It's not good enough for them. We're filthy, filthy people. I want to give you my money. And everyone in the chat room is going to say VPN, but that's not the point. That's me working around the system and not the system working.
I have to say, like, stop showing me, the iPhone unless we're talking about the iPhone. It just gets me all excited. I see the picture and I'm like staring into it like, is there anything different?
Yeah, there is.
There are
Look at
two
the
little antenna ports.
Yeah, look at the phone there. That's not an iPhone 4. Oh, is that a Verizon iPhone 4 maybe with the two antenna things?
No, it only has one then. But I can't tell because I can't see any of the buttons on the side. Ooh.
Phil Schiller
does
on the
sound-
stage. Now we've got a Phil here and they've got a Phil there. We're at Phil parody. It was only fair.
Phil parody.
They added an S.
Yeah. Chris is
Funny.
yucking it up.
Ooh, Android hackers are complaining on Google Plus that, yes, they totally ripped off Latitude.
Well, if you can't beat them, steal them.
It might be a Latitude.
It's a great service.
We also don't know who Apple is getting some of that data from. They could very well be using Google in the back end.
Yeah,
so.
and it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Oh,
iPod Nano. That's what we were all waiting for. Oh.
yeah, that's why we came today to the Let's Talk iPhone event to hear about iPods.
He's affable. Give him a break. I'm really pleased to talk to you about the iPod. We love music, and we're still making great iPods. Seriously, stop. Why are you laughing in the front row? Stop that. Tim, I'd like to give you updates.
Take a look, though, at the picture that has the iPod Nano and the phone.
Yes.
That looks different.
I can't tell if it's different.
Look at the dot at the top.
I think that's just the button.
Say centered.
No, I think that's just the button.
And there's the volume buttons on the side?
I want a Nano watch.
Or...
We used a fun version last year. It's compact, and we've added some updates this year. We've made it easier to use. You swipe between icons instead of seeing a grid. Oh, so they made it instead of an iPhone-like grid, they've made it cover flow in 2D.
Fair enough.
Oh, they're noticing in the chat room. Yeah, there's no Classic in that picture. There is no iPod Classic there. Phil, you can no longer put your entire Jam collection on one device anymore.
That's unfortunate.
I wanted a Nano watch. I was with George on this. I think Apple has completely missed the boat.
Oh, yeah.
That would show
my
me
hubby has the watch attachment, and everyone compliments him on it.
But imagine if Notification Center could just beam those notifications right to the watch. You know, you're in the meeting and you're not as obviously bored.
And check your email. Like, it could be something simple.
Until they put a microphone in it, I don't want it.
Oh, Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. That would be cool.
Oh, but imagine with the voice control, with the assistant technology, you could talk to your watch and your phone would just do the stuff for you. Earl Grey, hot.
This is my next has a picture of a Nano watch up right now.
Nice. Here's one people have created on their own, watches. We thought this was fun, so we've updated the device with 16 new clock faces.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's not enough.
I know it's not enough, but that gets me a little excited.
Yeah, I like the little vacuum tube clock.
Now, of course, these won't be pushed down as an update to last year's iPod Nano. You're going to have to go buy this year's
don't
iPod
even.
Nano. You know, the old one just doesn't have the memory to run properly new watch faces. We want a premium watch face experience. Oh, Mickey Mouse for the win. Mickey Mouse watch face. That's
Love
it. George is
I
buying
have to
one.
say, these watch faces are pretty sweet. Now I'm upset that I gave away the watch band.
Hi, my name is Mickey Mouse. I'm on your Nano watch.
It comes in 7 new colors. Oh, it comes in 7 colors. I thought there were new colors. Oh, well.
No, 129 for 8
Didn't
gigabytes.
It come in like 8 colors before, anyways.
16.
Sorry, Renee.
No, I was just saying the price. 8 gigabytes, $129. 16 gigabytes, $149. Most affordable Nano ever.
And it's available today.
Anyone who had 51 minutes for Renee's crazy first impression, you win.
I know I did crazy impressions earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I forget what it was now, but no, we did. Remember, we already did Will Ferrell from Austin Powers.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And he's still quite a lot of pain.
Okay, I'm taking a peek at the. Oh, I'm going to see about the iPod Classic. Let's see. Still on the website.
iPod Touch, ultra-thin design, retina display, FaceTime, HD video recording, gyro. Isn't that a Greek sandwich? Oh, that's a hero.
It is.
Sorry, that's a hero.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, they still have the Classic on the website. So.
Number 1 portable game player. Take that, Nintendo. Take that, Sony. You have been replaced by a multitasking device. Alton Brown would be so proud. It's going to run iOS 5. Thanks, Phil. I'm just going to wait till Phil falls asleep from all this.
Talking iMessage and Game Center on the iPod Touch. Yay.
You can communicate with your friends and family, and on Wi-Fi, it's free and unlimited. And of course, what Scott talked about with Game Center makes perfect sense.
I was more excited with the Nano Talk, but okay.
I just found my mute
button. I was hoping they'd do more with the watch thing.
Yeah, I think they dropped the ball on that. There's a product category. They have to do something after this iPad fad.
Well, if they even thought enough to make a whole bunch of watch faces, okay, well, hello.
I don't know.
53 minutes and nothing. I could be napping.
I'll try to get this Galaxy S2 review done before the keynote's done.
Oh, smart.
I would rather stick my manhood in a blender than hear Rene Ritchie's voice. I have fans.
Wow.
Oh, no. Really?
It's kind of a toss-up. And we've lost Georgia.
Here we go. Available October. It doesn't really say what's going to... Oh, it comes in white. There it goes. iPod Touch in white. Not
Hooray.
$199.
I'm waiting for the black one.
$199 for 8 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes at $299, 64 gigabytes, $399. So no 128 gigabyte version. The iPod Shuffle, 2 gigabytes, $49. No iPod Classic. And no word if we're getting the A5 chip in the iPod. And, of course, no 3G.
Well, that might make Leanna happy about it coming in white.
I'm going to China, and I'm going to hack a black case onto it.
Yeah, that's not a great announcement. Is it going to get the A4? Otherwise, there was a time when the iPod Touch actually had slightly better clock speed than the iPhone. And now it looks like it's... Yeah.
Here it goes. Despite competitors trying really hard to copy the iPhone 4, they haven't really been able to come close. Okay?
I got lawsuits that say otherwise.
Yeah.
And are we going to copy the iPhone 4? Tell me we're not.
Yeah, Apple's going to copy the iPhone 4.
So we're going to keep it exactly as it is.
Is it the iPhone 4S?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
iPhone 4S.
No. I'm not even pretending.
Oh, they used the horrible S icon.
Oh, just shoot me. Someone
Somebody's
put me out of my
gonna die.
misery already. Just let me cry. And yes, it doesn't have the stupid buttons. Oh yeah, it does still have the stupid buttons.
You know, I'm not upset about this. It's just it's everything you wanted in an iPhone 5 except for the new design.
Yeah. I hate the name.
I'm just gonna. There might be random fingers floating around here off the screen.
Well, in that new, I mean, a radically new design is too much to do every year, I think.
Mhm.
It's just, I think from a practicality standpoint, it's a bad idea. I mean, and look at the big, as much as they got over them, look at the headaches they had going to the 5, right? With the antenna, the glass breaking. Wasn't that a problem at first? I mean, there are just big obstacles anytime you do a huge industrial redesign like that.
Well,
Even
here
for
we go.
Apple. And Apple
It
does
starts
it better
with
than
the
most.
It starts with the Retina display. Of course, it's glass on the back, but don't be deceived. It's inside. It's all new.
Well, Georgia, the only thing you need to be concerned with is whether or not that apple is now lightable.
You see, I'd buy it then. That would be enough. That's how easily
Oh.
I would sell out.
Epic is up from Epic Games.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted to see.
Oh, you guys are such
Yeah.
negative Nancys. You're such Debbie Downers. You're such
No,
women's...
Seth,
the
it's
demos
demo
are
time.
always boring.
We can see a demo of a game. I'm being trolled in the chat room.
Well, because you're
When?
troll-worthy.
All right, most important, is it 4 space S? 4S?
No, it's 4 big, blocky, boxy S.
It's for Scrabble S.
Phil goes to install fonts.
Is it Comic Sans?
Oh, you had to go there.
Okay, so you're going to show me that Galaxy S again, Phil?
Oh, stop it.
Which one?
What a jerk.
I
Larger the
got
better.
a Galaxy S2.
Phil can
You want
send you
something a
3
little
by
larger? I
lunch.
got the Infuse.
Well, let's see. 7 times faster graphics, A5 chip, dual core processor.
iPhone 4 wasn't dual core, right?
No, iPad 2 was.
That is pretty
What?
cool.
What will
Mia
what
called
will
from the chat room.
Google
Who's going to join me
Graphics
with
do
the
for
Galaxy
my
S.
calendar?
If it was on Palm, it would make it launch in a second. Did they say 7 times faster graphics?
Yeah.
7 times. That's quite a nice amount faster. And
any
Infinity
app
Blade
stutters.
2. Okay, that's cool. Infinity Blade 2.
I'm still jealous I don't
Seth.
have that. I want that.
Seth, will you get Infinity Blade 2?
I didn't even buy Infinity Blade 1.
What?
Yeah.
You,
I don't play games on these devices. I really don't.
you just look at it. You don't really play it.
Well, no, Justin has it. I watched him play it. It's great, but I just didn't want to even bother. I may be the only person who doesn't play games on these devices. I realize that.
I don't play games on my iPhone either. I have an iPad for that.
Yeah. I have a couple games that I occasionally throw on and play, but I just get bored of them now. I don't know why.
Once you play games on a tablet, you can't go back to a phone. It is so tough.
Yeah.
I need to see those Angry Birds really get smashed.
Hey, I'm glad Apple's not concentrating on the specs here, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Look into my son's eyes and ask him.
Renee, we can now use 2 swords. Slice the crap out of people.
Nice. I need more slicing of the crap. The crap has not been sufficiently sliced.
iPhone 4S, twice the swords.
It's
In case
twice as
anybody was
swordy.
curious, you can now get a Droid X2 from Motorola for $99.
Stop it.
No, nobody.
No
Okay.
poaching.
I'm just reading Twitter here, man.
Yeah, that wasn't you.
If it was exactly the same phone, but they put it in a different case, everyone would be so excited.
Yes. Yes. What's up, Apple?
I'm doing this. That's it. iPhone.
iPhone
Ooh.
sucks. That's what you're going to do, aren't you?
iPhone 4.
December 1st, or is that for Infinity Blade?
December 1st is Infinity Blade.
Yeah. Infinity Blade 2.
All right. Apple's taking their time. This event is going to be unnecessarily long.
Well, you see, Phil, they really didn't want to change the graphics on the website, so.
Yeah. It was a Photoshop. People made them lazy. We're not going to make new comps.
So, Schiller is back. If you think you put a CPU like that and you sacrifice battery life, increase to 8 hours talk time. Damn.
It's like everybody else's processor.
Except it's got an Apple logo on it. 8 hours talk time. 14 hours.
Be funny if Steve Jobs came out. Wait. No. That's not how we do it. Here. iPhone 5.
You guys
This is how you do it.
all up.
I take one little break.
I give you the company for 4 weeks and...
Yes, CNN. Thank you for the breaking news alert.
Breaking.
Oh, antennas.
You got friends emailing me telling me not to look so angry. Sorry, Alan. I'm going to name drop. I have USA
they
Today
can
reporters
now-
telling me not to look angry.
That's cute. They can now intelligently switch between 2 antennas, between sent and received, to make better quality time.
What?
Call quality.
Oh, my God.
Don't tell me Nokia's had that since 1812.
No, but again, we're concentrating on... I mean, who gives a crap? and if anybody shouldn't be talking about antennas, it's Apple.
Yeah, well, this is a press-only event. It's not a public event, so they're saying this so that the press can come away with talking points. But they fixed the antenna.
It has 2 antennas because one's just not good enough for the millions of phones currently in your
Oh,
pocket.
14.4 megabits per second HSPA plus. So they didn't go to 20. They didn't go to 21. They just only went to
21,
14.
yeah.
That's a conservative HSPA. I mean, I'll take it, but they could have gone to 21.
Well, once you get enhanced backhaul into it, all bets are off.
Are you channeling Mickey Papelhon right now?
Hell no, that's my line. When I rant about enhanced backhaul, Mickey lets me go.
Phil's talking about the Atrix, the Thrill, and the Inspire 4G, saying that the iPhone 4 is just as fast as these phones.
Welcome to 6 months ago.
But those
Not
are
faster.
those are AT&T phones. Those aren't LTE or WiMAX phones.
Right.
I know.
Those are HSPA plus with enhanced backhaul. If you have it.
Oh, it's a world phone. Nice.
That's good. That was a good idea. Well, I mean, weren't the others? It just wasn't turned on.
Yeah.
Or-
Well, they weren't turned on. There wasn't enough power to light up
Right.
both chips on the board.
I think that's
that
because they
globe's
didn't want to
always
make it
been
the
there.
4GS.
Pardon me?
Why they're talking about the other 4G phones.
Well, that's been my big question, Phil, because now AT&T and Rogers and other carriers can say that they have a 4G iPhone, but Verizon and maybe Sprint cannot.
I think if
someone
anybody's
ban
not
that
going to get
TV?
in that game, it's Apple, and wisely so. I think that's a wise move.
You think they'll actually stop them from calling it that?
No, I think Apple probably stopped themselves from doing it.
Yeah.
I mean that would bring a whole another round of confusion.
Where have I heard these numbers before? This is what our competitors call 4G. The iPhone 4S is just as fast as all these phones, even faster in real-world use.
Well,
Bully for them.
hang on. All right, what am I seeing? The Atrix, the Thrill. Yeah, none of those is a real 4G phone.
No.
Not one. So yes, you are exactly as fast as the phones that have the exact same internals.
Yes. On the same network.
On the same network. Good job.
Golf clap.
I would sincerely hope you are.
We're going to wait for Hitler's reaction to that one, right?
That's one of those Apple slides I just love to see. Should we go into the pink salmon, Renee?
Yeah.
Guaranteed not to go white or whatever.
Well, 8 megapixel sensor, yay.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see that put up against the new Samsung stuff and even the new HTC stuff because they've got really good optics now.
It's going to. What I'm glad about though is that for a while it was the megapixel game, which was silly in the camera industry, and now it's becoming the sensor game, and I'm really happy about that.
Well, and everybody's pretty much capped out at 8. I mean, you don't need to go higher than 8. I'm not sure you can, right? Or no, I think there are a couple 10s out there, and I could care less about that. But no, just the quality of the pictures you take with the new Samsung stuff, and the Sensation from HTC, and the My Touch 4G slide, and I forget what the Amaze. They're just really, really good, on par with what Apple had.
So it's been an hour and 5 minutes, and we haven't talked about. Is that Phil that cracked up there? And we have not yet spoken about Siri or Assistant.
No. That'll be after.
Oh, man.
CMOS backside illuminated. This is for the photo nerds. I'm saying this for Leanna. Illuminated sensor, 43% more photons on the iPhone 4. 73.
Mine has more neutrinos.
Mine has tachyons. I can take photos of the past.
Mine has metachlorians.
Ooh.
I'm not sure you can go there.
High-end IR filter.
You can say chaps in bedroom, and I can't say metachlorians.
All right, that's true.
And something about a blender. I'm not going there.
Wide f2.4. Nice. You're a bit of a photo nerd, aren't you, Seth? Isn't that a nice lens?
Honestly, I'm not as much as I used to be. So, sure, that sounds great.
But your avatar clearly has a camera in the picture.
No, that's true. But I often pose with random real-world objects.
Motorcycles, fighter jets.
What does a 5-element lens really mean?
I don't know.
It says more color uniformity, better color accuracy, and hybrid IR filter.
Let's get Brad and Socralla to tell us in the chat room what that means.
It says it has more accurate colors, more light captured.
5 pieces of glass.
Okay.
But 4 pieces of glass aren't enough. Is that like putting yellow on your LCD TV?
Oh, my.
George Takei has entered the podcast.
Oh, my.
He does that Shark commercial, right?
Yes.
That's the one we're thinking of? Okay.
Now with yellow. 5 lenses means Apple can charge more for it. Nice.
And a chip that takes super fast photos. Cool. I like that because
That is the
sometimes
spec,
my
I
camera
think. Yeah,
would take
that's a big
forever.
underrated
What's that, Georgia?
spec.
Sometimes my camera would just take forever to take a photo. So
Well, they've got a new chip, apparently. They're just saying that new chip that takes super fast photos. What do we mean?
yeah.
2 to 3 times longer to other phones. Not the iPhone, of course, but the Droid Bionic has been tormenting people with slow photos for years.
So we decided.
He says you can go get coffee while you're waiting for the Droid Bionic to take a photo, Phil.
Pretty much, yeah. Not so much take it, but to focus on it. It's ridiculous.
My iPhone
Well, there's
4
been
is not
sometimes that my
snappy.
phone's crashed in trying to open up. So Then again, I have a million thousand photos, but really.
So the Galaxy S, they say the Droid Bionic is terrible. Galaxy S2 slightly better. HTC Sensation better still. Apple twice as good as a Sensation. It's sensationaler.
Hey, yeah, I mean, if that's true, that's really saying something, because I think the Galaxy S2 and the Sensation are excellent.
But does it work, Trebek? A fast photo-taking chip is worth its weight in gold if it works.
Apple stock is down 2%.
Yeah, sell on news. Buy on rumor, sell on news.
Of course, the Dow is down 127, so... You know.
So, yeah, we're talking about photos. We're an hour and 9 minutes in, and we're talking about how much faster the photo camera is. 1.1 seconds to take your first shot, and just a half second for the second shot.
1. That's not bad.
Yeah,
say that.
we'll see. It's never fast enough for me.
Well, that I don't have to actually find the app is a big deal, actually. That they have a shortcut just from the lock screen, I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Though I'll probably be double-clicking all the time by mistake.
Pixie and the Veer.
Pardon me?
And then the touchpad.
This could really have been a much more concise announcement.
Table flipping. I'm about to flip a table.
You can also take macro pictures. We could take macro pictures before, though.
You
Video
think they weren't
recording.
focused.
1080p video. Boom. Because I didn't have enough P in my old iPhone camera. My iPhone camera was just not P enough.
Galaxy
Yeah,
S2 has
I
1080.
have the storage for that.
Yeah, I've been doing all my camera tests in 1080p, and it's just, I mean, it's worthless. Unless you're consistently going to be outputting this stuff to high-def TV, there's absolutely no reason to do it.
So it's also got video image stabilization, real-time temporal noise reduction.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what that means. It can stop time. It will actually stop time. It is noisy. Time. Stop!
Temporal noise reduction. See, as the Earth spins through the universe, it causes these little quakes. I don't know. Seriously, if everyone's going to be like this from now on, we're going to have to start drinking.
Seth is way ahead of us.
Seth,
Oh, come on. I haven't started yet.
I wish I had.
George is going to start.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, you know what else has a camera you can access from the lock screen?
Every other phone you own?
Phone I have here that's for girls.
It's not for girls. Like I told you, Kevin loves purple phones.
What's up with that?
What?
Purple is a color that lots of, people like.
The Joker, Lex Luthor.
Prince.
It's very much a Joker
Pretty
color.
much every Marvel and DC villain has some form of purple and green. Limited palettes.
Oh, another video demo.
They're doing a video demo of the video. Is that meta?
Man, I'm going to miss all the good stuff.
I'm sorry, Seth.
Stupid life.
Seth, there might not be any good stuff.
I'm going to keep the GDGT thing rolling while I'm on that call, and I'll just hit mute if I have to scream.
Are you staying on the show, or you can bail?
I probably have to go at 2:30.
Hey, I just saw in the chat room I got accused of being a closet Apple fanboy.
I hate this. You know what? And I'm going to say this again. None of us here are fanboys. We are all demanding pains in the ass. We expect Google and Apple and Microsoft to be fanboys of us. If Apple screws up or Google screws up or Microsoft screws up, we're going to be the first ones to, jump ship, bail, and demand they do us better.
Absolutely.
Okay, AirPlay, mirroring. Here we go.
Nice.
How much and when? How much and when?
How much and
How much and when?
Now, I'll give you $200 right now.
You can now do it wired or wireless. AirPlay mirroring is now happening. Okay. And?
All right, I want a poll right now before they announce price, before they're done, and pretend you're not fanboys. Upgrading or not. Like if this wasn't your job.
I upgraded before it was my job. I just like having new stuff. And I did that with Palm too. I went from the 600 to the 650.
For normal people, is it worth an upgrade?
From the 4, I would say probably not. From the 3GS, I would say hell yes.
Yeah. I will agree with that.
Especially if you have a recent 4, like if you can gift your 4 down to somebody else who doesn't need Apple Care or the warranty, get your new phone. And we'll see what AT&T and Verizon and whoever does to incentivize you. If they give it to you for $100, I mean, you might as well take it. But if they're
finally,
what?
Siri.
Woohoo!
It's a feature all about our voice. Our voice.
Yeah, you got to do better than that. Precious.
Renee does it better. Go ahead, Renee.
I know.
My precious. Not the Apple Twixie Foes.
What?
Go watch Lord of the Rings. All right, here we go.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, this does look, I have to say, this looks sweet. The icon itself, beautiful. Like, super sweet. Little mic, purple, glowing. And it says, Phil's wishes that a device could really understand you, that you didn't have to use a restricted lingo when asking for music or searching for directions. What is the weather like today? Will it rain in Cupertino? Is the weather going to get worse today? Do I really need an umbrella?
Really?
What color are my shorts?
Wait, were you making this up or is this real? I lost track.
It's all real except for the shorts part.
Oh.
Do I have to buy it dinner?
Who sank my battleship?
Yes.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Is this all real?
I'm so going to mess with this thing. Like, I'm going to get drunk
All
in the middle
real,
of the night.
but the shorts. Though it might be able to answer.
I forget who said it, but one of the bloggers said they're going to buy 2 and let them talk to each other.
Hey, phone! Hey, phone! What's wrong with you?
Didn't someone do that with 2 female call girls, phone callers?
I don't
have
remember.
them talk to each other?
Hey, phone! Crazy fool! I'm going to find
this
that
is
Murdoch.
cool. Your intelligent assistant that helps you get things
you know
done.
what we're going to do? We're going to get it to talk to one of these
asking.
Galaxy S2s.
Oh, nice.
And here we go. We're going to do a live voice recognition demo. And Scott Forrestal is back up.
Scotty!
He has nice hair.
Scotty! Scotty!
Just hold down the... just...
Come on, Scotty!
Just... just hold down the home button and Siri will listen in.
Are they actually calling it Siri? They didn't rebrand it?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, here we go. They've got it down. What can I help you with? It is actually my voice, by the way.
George's voice is Siri.
What is the weather like today? Here is the forecast for today. Scott. 66 degrees. Cloudy.
I'm afraid I can't tell you the weather, Scott.
Exactly. They should have called it Hal.
Siri, Skynet's second name. Yes, Lewis from the chat room.
That phone starts singing to me in a slowed down, creepy voice. I'm throwing it out the window.
Red rum. Red rum.
I'm sorry, Seth. I can't do that.
Now, I'm betting this is going to be iPhone 4S only, and it's not going to come to our iPads.
You see, this Siri does kind of, it tempts me. It tempts me, Phil.
It tempts you.
You can talk to your Galaxy S2 phone. Here, watch, I'll do it. Oh, wait, I need the Sprint one. I'm not sure where it is.
Georgia, you sound like Khan all of a sudden. It tasks me. It tasks me, and I shall have it. Siri!
Seriously, I want to get drunk and yell at my phone. I think I need to do that.
You don't need to get drunk to do that.
It's going to be cleansing. It's going to be pretty cathartic.
Shannon will just say, now you can stop yelling at me. Take your phone.
You're like, the next day for AA is Thursday.
Nice.
Well, I'm just glad to see this finally in the OS. I've been waiting for that a long time.
Okay, let's see what we got here. What's the time in Paris? Siri responds, the time in Paris, France, is 8:16 p.m. And Siri also brings up a live clock. Wake me up tomorrow at 6 a.m. Siri responds, okay, I set it for 6 a.m. And you can see that it has the little tiny, a little tiny clock alarm, which is cute because it has those old rotary flip clocks. It's kind of cute.
Gee, never seen one of those before. Lou grabs HTC phone.
I want animated weather. I don't care where they steal it from.
How's the NASDAQ doing today? NASDAQ composition is down right now at... I'll just leave the numbers.
These are actually fairly amazing.
Asked what are Apple stocks at right now? We are down 3%. Oh, sorry.
Where is Phil live blogging from?
Searching Google Latitude.
Is he wearing chaps?
Didn't Phil really find him a Greek restaurant in Palo Alto?
Yes, he is. Purple. Give me directions to Hoover Tower. Siri brings up the maps, shows the route, and you're good to go. That I can use.
Have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
You'll never take me alive!
You ask, how do I get out of a Turkish prison?
Do you like gladiator movies? Sorry, shouldn't go down that road.
And it blows Scott Forrest all the way.
We've already gone down it.
Where is my wife?
She's in the house.
My automobile.
Find me a great Greek restaurant in Palo Alto. I found 5 Greek restaurants, and I've sorted them by rating.
That's fairly... I mean, like, most people's spouses aren't that good.
With Siri, you can also ask it to read your messages, and reads the messages in notification queue, hands-free, simple and easy. I like the map thing. The map thing can save me a lot of time.
Is it English only?
That we don't know yet.
That's a big thing that Google's been doing is with the translations, and I don't honestly know how many languages like Android will recognize by default for the voice, but you know the real-time translation has been a really big thing they've been doing.
Right. Just hold down the button on the headset and say, read my message, and Siri does so, dutifully and obediently. New message
Apple hired the creepy
Schiller.
palm girl.
Georgia, why are you using this stupid voice to read our messages? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, whose voice do you want it to be? Excellent. I found you 5 new restaurants.
I like the Laura Croft kind of English voice. I'm with all the map things. That's the coolest for me. Scott then asks Siri whether or not he had any appointments, and Siri said he did not. And then he says, reply, I can do Friday. And that it does. It replies, I can do Friday.
You couldn't have done this demo an hour ago, man.
Yeah, really, they should have started, like, why even waste time on all the other stuff? We don't care. This is cool. Okay, so you know how I hate to do calendars. I don't use my calendar. I use pen and paper. Siri automatically creates text messages and asks if he wants to send it off to Phil. Note, Scott didn't need to see Phil. Siri actually, not use Phil.
Sorry, I was reading something else.
It's about chaps I don't want to know. Scott didn't need to say Phil. Siri actually remembered who it was from. Siri always remembers, which is spooky. Scott then made a calendar appointment. And this was done by talking. Pretty sweet. Remind me to call my wife when I have to leave work. Here's your reminder for when you leave work. And it has a reminder. It says cancel or confirm, which looks like a button that you have to actually press. And Siri also knew who his wife was and set up a geoconference around his work times.
Huh.
Cool. That's cool. It's kind of creepy. And it sets it up, sticks it into your calendar, schedules it, and it's all done.
It's fairly impressive. I mean, this
That's
is
sweet.
if it works the way they're showing it, that's fairly transformational.
Instant Wikipedia and Wolfram Alpha, or as we like to call it, Skynet, searches by voice. Now, to define a word, it's as easy as asking Siri, define mitosis. And Siri delivers the results. It is what happens when cells divide.
There are going to be the inevitable questions about bandwidth. I'm not sure I'd worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. This is way better than the weird voice control that we've had since iPhone 3GS.
Ugh, seriously.
Was that a pun?
No, it was not.
It is now.
It was exasperation.
And from the chat room, Apple stocks are down almost 9%.
Yeah, because you buy on rumor and you sell on news, so I'm sure Apple will be just fine. They're not going out of business today.
Yeah, and when they sell 1 billion of these phones, no one will have to worry.
Oh my! I would. You know what? Could we be able to buy celebrity voices for Siri? Like, can I get the George Takei or can I get the Mr. T?
That would be good.
Oh, I'd like Arnold.
Your appointment is at 5:00. Carter, you're late.
What would be awesome is if you could grab your friend's phone and download like the Bobcat Goldthwait voice. You know,
I've been trying to get you to this appointment all day.
Seth, I would get Hal's voice for yours.
You have failed to make that meeting for the last time.
So you can also ask it questions like conceptual, like how many days left
I
are
don't
there
take your
for Christmas,
calendar.
and
Yeah, I
it
don't
knows
know
what
where to
Christmas
get.
is.
Nice. Sorry, Phil was making funnies, Georgia.
So it's a non-denominational phone? Is that what you're saying?
Nice. We're being told we're wrong in the chat room. You can't just tell us we're wrong. We're wrong about so many things. You've got to be more specific.
Yeah, be specific.
Yeah, what exactly are we wrong?
Include a timestamp if you can. Smithers, where is my iPhone 4S? Sir, you found it in your glove compartment last week. Ooh, yes, excellent.
Siri, why aren't we getting an iPhone 5?
Oh, I dare you.
Tap the mic to say things like, call Jason, play The Light of the Sun, tell Susan we'll be there, set up a meeting at 9, remind me to call. Okay. So how to use it, great.
My friends are heckling me over email for this thing. Dude, hop in the chat. That's what it's for.
They're heckling you
heckle
over
us in
email.
public.
Yeah, then you can heckle me in public, like everybody else. You're not special.
I just
The funny part is, do they actually expect you to reply?
Oh, yeah.
The Twitters are telling us that we're jumping the gun, Georgia, that there could be one more thing, iPhone 5. Like this, Apple could just punk all of us. Ashton Kutcher could jump out holding it at the end.
If Steve Jobs comes out and says, actually...
Oh, now I'm being
Here's the
yelled at. It's
iPhone 5,
George
then I'd
Takei,
go.
not George Takai.
Yes.
somebody just posted on Twitter, Siri, what is best in life?
To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, to hear the lamentation of their women.
That's awesome.
Siri, how is Babby formed?
Wait, Siri, if you make the Bibibopka quick? That's my question.
So, compose and dictate email, write to Siri, set timers, look up contacts, create notes, search the web, search Wikipedia. If you want to know who is Siri, just ask. Siri, I am your humble personal assistant.
Whoa.
It's like Kit from Knight Rider.
Only sexy.
Only no turbo
Sexier.
boost. Yeah, do we know the voice? Is it a sexy lady Brit voice?
Yeah, it might not be, actually. It might be a guy. I am your humble personal assistant.
Dude, I'm totally your humble personal assistant.
That would change everything, yeah.
Cowabunga, I'm Siri.
Maybe I'll actually
Demo
use it.
Oler. Phil is back. Thanks, Scott. That was the coolest feature of the iPhone 4S. Siri
So
does
confusing to
dictation.
listen.
Whenever you see a keyboard, you'll see a microphone. Talk to
Oh,
Siri,
yeah.
tap, done, and in the blink of an eye, it comes back to your text. Speak with your natural voice.
Hey guys,
Dictation.
I'm gonna duck out.
Okay, we're gonna replace you with Kevin, but not that you're replaceable.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna get off the call. I'll kind of keep an eye on this and hopefully still be in the chat.
And we'll see you tonight.
Absolutely.
Bye, Seth. Thank you.
Later.
Bye, Seth. Siri, why is Seth leaving us?
He got a better offer.
I might have to get the phone just to like constantly annoy it.
Just waiting on Kevin. Kevin.
I'm here.
I can't see you yet.
I can't see me either yet.
All right.
What's wrong?
Siri, where is Kevin?
Why can't we see Kevin? So here we go, Phil, to answer your question. It has built-in support for English, French, and German, and it will be beta at the start.
Oh.
By beta, we mean we'll add more languages and services over time.
So that's typically a Google. Google gets a lot of hassle sometimes for launching beta services, but Apple apparently is now taking a page from that book.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
So here we go. That's it for all the great new stuff. Oh, and now you understand all the great new stuff inside the iPhone 4S. A5, new antenna system, new optics, HD video, and now Siri. Demo video time.
So have you been watching so far, Kevin? Any thoughts to share with us?
I have been watching the whole time. You guys have been more exciting to tune into, I think, than if you're sitting there in the live keynote, though. Like it's been kind of. They were holding out for a long time on the stuff, but it looks good. iPhone 4S. Not sure how I like the S icon.
It's the horrible one from the 3GS. It's like that someone put it in the refrigerator and pulled it back out way past its prime.
No, but it's, I don't know, it's looking good. Siri stuff seems like a good demo. I'm not sure if it means anything once everybody uses it. I don't know.
Will it survive the level of cursing that people like you and I will put it through, Kevin?
Yeah, exactly. Can I say find me a hot blonde for tonight? And what will it do?
We have found 7 in your location. Would you like the numbers?
They are ranked by rating and price.
Yes. Oh.
It works right out of the box and gets better as it learns your voice. In other words, data connection is required.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I mean, here's my thing. I've had voice search and voice whatever on a phone forever, right? And if it's something you use every day, it's something you're going to use every day. Like, you need to use it with a purpose. If it's just there, you're going to use it sparingly in the car, and even then it's going to be kind of annoying enough so that you'll probably still be typing and risking lives half the time. But, I mean, it's nice to have.
But if people are around, are you going to want to talk out loud? I mean, if you're in a
No, you look like an idiot when you do it. I'll do it right now. Here.
Or it might answer something that you don't want it to answer, like,
Do you have voice control on BlackBerry?
Call my wife for a date, and it's like,
meh.
Sandy or Lauren.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, the big love got caught out.
Yeah, so Samsung on these new ones has Blingo, which is a really good, voice service.
Instead of Google's?
What's that?
They did that instead of Google's?
No, Google's on there too.
Okay.
So I can talk and I can say, "Hi, Galaxy."
Say what you would like to do. You can always say cancel to start again.
Dial Kevin Michalik Mobile.
Multiple contact matches found. Which
Well,
Kevin would you
I'll
like
call
to
that one.
placing call? To Kevin Michael.
I heard
So,
my name
I mean,
butchered
it
4
works,
times in a
but-
row there.
Yeah.
Well, now we're getting a peek of what is inside of the iPhone 4S. So they're showing us the outer casing and the, I believe, A5 chips. Cool.
Just by way of contrast.
Antenna design standpoint. We've never done this type of thing before.
Call
Since last time.
Kevin Michalik, mobile.
Calling Kevin Mikowski mobile.
Mikowski.
You win this one, Phil.
This is way more fun than actual live blogging, by the way.
Well played, Renee. Well played.
I bet if I switched it to another language, it would recognize Michalik.
So when it comes to turning on the iPhone 4S, do I still have to hit a button?
I think so.
There's no swipe.
you just have to
power
look
up
at
the
it.
display.
Yeah, look at it funny. It'll wake
No,
up and say,
because
what
then you turn it on in your pocket constantly.
Siri, I'm looking at you, damn it.
you gotta win, Rock!
Damn it, Siri.
So we're getting the shots of the Apple video. They're going to have a video up on apple.com. It looks identical to an iPhone 4 in almost every conceivable way.
So the stock market's dropping. How do you guys feel on it? Are you 10% negatively disappointed
Bye.
right now? Or
Yeah, no, bye. Yeah, bye now.
10? I can't say 10. Maybe more.
We got everything except for the new design. So if all your hopes and dreams were pinned on a new physical outside casing just to look different, then you are crushed. Apple sucks. You're switching to Android. You can't believe you wasted this much of your life on them. But if you wanted the internals, if you wanted the performance, if you wanted the features, if you wanted the Siri, and you don't care what it looks like, or you love the iPhone 4 look already, then you're like, yes, nailed it. All my friends are going to hate me tomorrow.
We'll take you,
Now-
by the way.
what about forcing an upgrade for the enthusiasts? So like you guys, are you now, camping overnight to get an iPhone 4S, or are you showing up, 11 o'clock the next day?
I have to camp. My boss is a real hard ass about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I know, okay, but I mean, if you were normal BlackBerry or iPhone enthusiast, what would you do in this case? What's the sense of urgency
I'd
to upgrade
wait.
now?
If you
On a
had a
scale of 1 to
3GS and you're up for a new phone, I think you're definitely going to get this. If you've been holding out to get an iPhone on Verizon because you wanted the new one, I think you're definitely getting this. If it
Well,
does
here-
go on Sprint, I think you're definitely getting this.
We've got the price plans.
Oh.
It comes in black, white, and purple for Phil. 16 gigabytes for $199,
purple.
32 gigabytes for $299, and 64 gigabytes
Woohoo!
$99.
Wow.
That's the one Renee's getting.
People are gonna be happy about that.
And 64 gigs first time for an iPhone. And the iPhone 4S is not the only phone in their lineup. The iPhone 4 will be available in black and white for just, hear it, $99. And
Oh.
the iPhone 3GS, still in the lineup, 8 gig free.
Whoa. It's not a modern phone. It's an okay phone, but free is a great price.
Here we go. Pre-orders on October 7th and launching, drumroll, the 14th.
Woohoo! So that's the date that we first heard a long time ago, and that is when all of us are going to be in Montreal for Singleton Convention.
Huh?
There's a convention of a
Sprint.
lot of Mac people in Montreal that day. Sprint?
Sprint.
Yeah?
Sprint. Just say it. Please, come
Say
on.
yes or
I
no.
want
Did they
a
say
5.
it?
I want
Siri,
them to say
is the iPhone
want-
going to Sprint?
I want to see a 5 somewhere in the next text. That's all I have to say. 5. Say 5.
So what does an iPhone on Sprint mean to Android and BlackBerry? Are those really... Android is huge on Sprint. Is Sprint a big BlackBerry stronghold
I think
too?
it means the same thing it meant on Verizon. I mean,
They are
Yeah.
getting the iPhone. Sorry, T-Mobile. Guess that. AWS, of course, I don't know. Yeah, no. T-Mobile, no. Sprint, yes.
70 countries, so not a staged rollout.
Fastest rollout ever. And what do I see? Canada.
again, does Sprint have $5 billion a year?
If you take all the money in Sprint's pockets,
They're gonna have to sell a lot more Android phones.
they're going to have to sell Dan Hesse.
Isn't it that they're only going to make a profit by, like, 2014?
Yeah, yeah.
Tim's back. Let's review today's announcement. Very
Tim is
happy.
back recapping. Most amazing iPhone ever, but for how long?
About another year. I'm not like Phil. I don't get 5 new phones every weekend, or like Kevin, where I get 6 of them a year.
Yeah, so how does that affect Sprint's, or how does that affect the AT&T T-Mobile thing?
I don't know what happened because we were fairly certain that not just us, but the guys who run the T-Mo sites were fairly certain they were getting it. It looks like something.
No.
fell apart.
I mean, how does it affect the merger?
Oh,
We don't need to think about that just yet, but because I think this was, yeah, I have to wonder how much of a last minute thing it was. Like it might have always been in the cards, but didn't really get going until till the lawsuits started pouring in, you know?
I can't believe they're leaving the iPhone 3. It's going to be the longest phone on the market ever.
Free.
I'm pretty sure they're still selling BlackBerry Curve 8300s.
It's probably the best-selling phone in history.
Closing up speeches. So incredibly proud of this company and all the teams who've worked so hard to bring all of the innovations you've seen today. Tim, thank you very much. Oof. Really? Really?
So
They didn't say when yet on the Friday.
Really? Can it be without one more thing? Can it? Could it?
They haven't done one more thing in a long time. I was trying to remember the last big one more thing they had, and it hasn't been anything major in quite a while.
And no Steve.
So what do we think? Georgia, reaction?
I think they should have spent more time on Siri. I think they probably should have put it into the middle instead of kind of at the end and given it a little bit more space. So, yeah, the internals seem nice. Really sad about the outer casing.
Are you getting one?
Probably not.
Phil, competitive or not competitive?
I try to be competitive. I mean, I'm a really competitive guy, and
Not you, the phone, Phil.
I mean, absolutely, it's competitive, and it's not so much the hardware that makes it competitive; it's the ecosystem and the apps. I mean, the hardware is important; it's powerful, whatever. But no, it's every single app that's out there in the tens of thousands. I'm very curious to see what it does to Sprint. I got to think about that for a little bit because Sprint has for a long time had a lot of really compelling Android devices. I think it's probably obvious at this point it hasn't been making a whole lot of money off it, but then again, Sprint hasn't been making a whole lot of money. I mean, put it this way: what's the number one complaint about Sprint? It's not the hardware; it's the network.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they haven't increased their 4G network. Look at the timing of this. Sprint's probably going to ditch WiMAX for LTE altogether, right? So this is a very interesting stopgap to really stop the bleeding. Look at it like that. This is one hell of a Band-Aid is what it is. It's a $20 billion Band-Aid.
It really
if
is.
The stories are right. But that's what it is.
Kevin, what do you think? Did Apple do okay with this, or is Apple, starting to peak and maybe they're losing momentum?
I would almost. It's neither of those. I mean, I think it depends what your perspective is. I have a feeling from Apple's. If you're Apple, you want to be making as much money as you can, not just today, but over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So this is one of those devices that's a little bit of. It's not the monumental new device, but it's a nice 1 year refresh in a sense. That's going to allow them to keep selling and making money, and it's good enough to be perceived as the benchmark still. But I think Apple's been setting high expectations now since the original iPhone. And this feels like a bit of a slowdown in that momentum. I mean, it looks the same, right?
Yep.
I mean, now I would have went out and bought an iPhone 5 the day it comes out, if it looked a little bit different for that selfish fanboy, got to have the latest and greatest factor. But now it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Now, they did 2 years before. The 3G and 3GS were exactly the same. Is it too competitive to do that again now? What's the big difference, Georgia? Why was it okay then? And you didn't get a 3GS. You went from 3G to 4.
I did.
Yeah.
Again, looks mattered. Looks matter. In the end, people are buying phones and hardware at just such a fast pace. So, we've been looking for something. They didn't have to do much. Like, they really didn't have to do much. If they had made a metal back instead of a glass back, would have been enough. They could have made it slightly thinner, almost exactly the same, and just fancied up slightly. People would have been thrilled with it.
They could have made
all
purple.
They needed. No, it should have been aluminum. Should have been like just a metal looking phone, steel, and I think that people would have been, an all steel looking phone. That would have been sweet. So, yeah, it's too bad.
But maybe they're just going to save that now for, the next generation and rolling out LTE and that kind of thing. Bigger change on the outside for a bigger change on the inside.
Well, they seem to
I don't
alternate,
think that
right?
they're going to sell as many this way.
Well, you do have all the people coming off of 3GS contracts. You're going to have all the people who on Sprint have been waiting for one. All the people on Verizon who didn't want to get a 3 or 4 month old phone when it finally, or was it 6 month old phone, 7 month old phone when it finally arrived on Verizon. Internationally is a different story because it's been available on almost every carrier all the time internationally already, and people have had 15 months to upgrade to an iPhone 4. So and Apple makes a ton of money internationally, so I'll be interested to see how that plays out.
Well, I feel bad for all the people that make cases.
Yeah, I was thinking
People that
that
sell
too. Is it
accessories?
identical?
Yeah, they're identical.
It
Hey, by the way,
yep.
Any sort of exclusivity on Sprint?
From who? From T-Mo? Yeah, they locked out T-Mo for another year.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
So even the camera module hasn't changed at all going up to
8 megapixels with really smart
the
stuff in
camera
it.
has, but not the placement of it. So no, you don't need another case.
It might be bigger, though.
It's interesting.
It could be bigger. It might be too big for a
No,
time case.
you do it. Everybody go buy new cases.
Yes.
Buy them now. Pre-order.
No, but you might they might have changed the camera assembly and the antenna placement because the antenna is now modular, so the buttons might. Because you remember, Kev, when the Verizon one came out, slightly tweaked button placement meant we had to get all new cases.
But the other placement of the antenna is on the opposite side, so it's not going to move where the buttons are.
But if
for
the
this model.
camera hole is bigger, if you're gonna need a bigger, because it's an 8 megapixel camera, so you might.
Yeah, most of the camera holes are larger anyways than what they need to be, so that you don't end up getting glare back from the flash.
We'll see. That's an interesting question. Apple did not announce accessories. Usually, like last year, they announced bumpers at the show. This year, I did not see any accessories announced.
Renee, what did you think of the entire keynote period?
I think it was long and unnecessarily long. I think Apple has made a habit of having... This year it wasn't demos, but for some reason they really want to draw out these iPhone events. We didn't necessarily need the WWDC rehash because this was a press-only event, and they had all been to WWDC a few months ago to see it. So I think this could have made a very good, very tight 45-minute to 1 hour show, and I'm a little...
And they messed it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit stunned that they didn't do that.
And do you think that the reason for that was that, and I'll say it, that Steve wasn't at the helm?
All right, it's official. My friend Monique Walker, reporter with the Boston Globe, is keeping her iPhone 4.
Nice.
Oh.
No, George, because the other long, drawn-out iPhone things were all under Steve Jobs' watch. I mean, he let Scott Forstall go on for hours and hours about every little tiny app coming to the iPhone. We got new apps. We got Cards. That was the big Apple app announcement other than Siri, the Cards app. Where's my airport app? There's so many apps I want on the iPhone.
I want bezel gestures. It feels so boring to have a button to click back to the home screen. And
I hate
can't
that button.
swipe between.
I really hate that button.
My mom needs that button.
I like the button.
My mom needs
I have
that button.
to say.
I don't use an iPhone, and I'm tired of that button.
Because when I have my phone in the pocket or someone else, I like to not have to look and just be able, turn it on, turn it off, not have to worry about it.
Okay, but you know what I'm going to say? In 5 years, you're going to look back at that button the way you guys look at my BlackBerry keyboards right now.
Yep. Because we'll be using voice and mind control, Kevin. Apple will create the neuro-linguistic interface, and I'll just say iPhone T Earl Grey hot.
No matter what, we can't lose both buttons because we need some hard way to reset our phones just in case the software dies on us. So, we have to keep something, but it helps those that are new.
You've got power buttons and volume buttons.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can do it through capacitive buttons. We've got that on Android. It can be done.
No back button, Phil. We didn't get a back button. We didn't get any new hardware buttons.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
What else didn't we get? Was there anything big that we didn't get that we thought we would? I don't believe they said we didn't get Beats Audio.
Was that in the cards?
No, but
We didn't get a better sound system.
Or at least nothing worth mentioning. Like they could have said, we really decided we're the iPod company, damn it, and we're actually going to give you a better speakerphone than BlackBerry for a change.
Hey, to go
Like
back
they
to the
could
4G
have.
thing, that's still never going to happen until something changes with the battery life. Until either Apple does it or the battery manufacturers can figure it out. But I guarantee you there's no way Apple will put up with using your entire battery by lunchtime.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely true.
You know what it needs is like a 3-foot dongle to
Dongle.
let you know. I still have to plug that thing in. I haven't tried it yet.
We didn't hear about the front-facing camera either. They didn't even say they bumped it to HD to FaceTime HD or not.
And they didn't say if you could use FaceTime for, conferences, if you could use it over, 3G. Nothing really.
No FaceTime 3G announcement? The camera stuff looked really nice, though. I mean, all well, let me read that list back here because I lost where it went. But it had all sorts of image stabilization, and it had something temporal, Kevin. I don't know why I need time change to happen in my camera, but apparently it's important.
Must be important. They know what they're doing, those guys at Apple. Cupertino is smart people.
Why would they invest this much in optics and so little in sound when they are the iPod company? It's very strange to me.
No, I think they have results that speak for it, though. They said, we're the number one camera on Flickr now.
Yeah.
So they're looking at the usage case of the device, and they're saying, okay, people take a lot of photos with these things. Let's make the camera rock.
And they put a special chip in just to take faster photos.
Play a lot of music with it, though, too. We could make the sound rock.
True.
Are fast photos a big deal? Are people going to be really happy by that 1.1 second photo?
Once you have it,
fast photos matter. Actually, wait, slow photos matter, because when it's slow, you get really ticked off if you miss the shot.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I haven't used a particularly fast phone since that Windows Phone 7 launch a year ago that I went to, and I still remember.
Yeah. Oh, Apple.com says access denied. I do not have permission to access Apple.com. That's one of the biggest sites on the internet. Oh, now it's back. iPhone 4S is up on the Apple site.
I can't.
Pardon me? You can't get to it?
No.
I'm busy
so,
with the
Phil,
store.
Does this change anything for Android world for you?
It's going to make things interesting because we just had the Galaxy S2 come out on Sprint. Now, they're very different phones, I think. It depends on how Sprint keeps selling WiMAX, and that's the big question mark right now. I just put it out on Twitter. I'm calling this the $20 billion Band-Aid for Sprint, if in fact that's the price tag. I'm willing to believe that's a little much.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's not $20 billion. It's still a big Band-Aid because Sprint was the first to 4G, right? WiMAX is going away. They're going to shift to LTE, and that's a buttload of money Sprint basically wasted. So, they have to keep those subscribers, and I think the iPhone has a good chance, even being 3G, it has a good chance of keeping those subscribers in its customer base instead of jumping ship, especially to Verizon if you want to keep that high-speed data.
Apple's down again. Sorry.
So that's the big question mark. I don't know. We're going to have to check the forums and run a couple polls maybe and do our job and see.
What about Sprint and BlackBerry, Kevin? Was that a BlackBerry stronghold? Yeah,
absolutely. Sprint's always done well for pushing a lot of BlackBerry smartphones. So this is, and they've been pushing the 9930 pretty well. But again, very different usage case, right? I mean, if you're buying a phone with a keyboard these days, you're buying it because you want that keyboard. So it might not matter. Make that big a difference to them at this point, but
you and I have talked about this, but still, almost every time I fly cross country, I see people on their BlackBerries, and then they'll put it in one pocket and pull an iPhone out of the other pocket and do something, and they will switch back and forth without even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's true, and I'm not sure if that goes away anytime soon. It's funny, like with the state of RIM today.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a business thing, right? As much as anything else.
Business communication tool. I mean, I look at some of the RIM doom and gloom stories of the last 12 months. And I still think, worst case scenario, they would probably sell, 5 million BlackBerries with keyboards a quarter just as corporate messaging devices. If they just made an announcement, said, that's it, we're giving up. We don't even want apps on our stupid phones. We're just building phones with keyboards, and you can use them for texting and email and BBM. So I don't know, different user.
Interesting. All right, so I think we're going to wrap this up. We have a ton more posts coming your way, guys. We are going into super blogger posty mode. And we're going to be back. When are we going to be back again, Georgia?
Tonight, 9.
You're kidding me. That soon?
That soon. If you haven't already gotten completely sick of us, we're coming back.
We have sickness yet to make. No, I think this
Skynet
format
is
worked.
trending on Twitter.
I think this format worked out really well. I'm really happy
I liked
with
this a lot. It was much more fun than usual.
It was really enjoyable to watch. I had more fun watching you guys than being on the show. But yeah.
Oh, you heart all your
I
children,
don't know
Kevin.
if I should be heard about that or not.
It was a compliment. I'm saying I'm bringing it down, and you guys are awesome to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
No, you're not bringing it down. You're a rock star, Kevin.
Siri, when will the Tip B podcast be back?
It will be back tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Be there for iPhone
Yeah, I want
Live.
the sexy girl voice back.
Try to do it.
We will be back tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern.
No, he said the sexy girl voice.
Okay, well, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
Right. Phil, you got to call one of those funny numbers again.
I only do that from demo phones.
Verizon. no wonder.
Throwaways.
And yet Sprint still has money left in the bank. I'm surprised, Phil. All right, guys. Have a great time. We will see you back here in approximately 6 hours.
Later.
Bye.
Nice.
Bye.